Do you want to double that with me, Robbie? My name is SteveDAngelo. I'm a composer, guitarist, keyboardist, and world-acclaimed juggler. I've been in the Toronto studio music scene for well over 25 years. And in that time, I've composed hundreds of TV show themes, scores, and commercials. But I got this nice suit out of it. Yeah. And nice shoes. You know, I don't have a real set way of composing. Sometimes I'll write on the guitar, sometimes I'll write at the piano. Sometimes I'm not even at an instrument. I just think a musical direction, and then I'll go to an instrument. And sometimes I just listen to other music, and that will inspire an idea as well. Yeah, I copy, that's right. You know, I can think of a lot of musical moments that really blew me away. You know, one in particular was Charles Mingus, Better Get It in Your Soul. The first time I heard that, I just thought, wow, man, this is gospel, blues, jazz, all rolled into one. It was the coolest thing, and still is. It's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Why make a jazz record? Well, ultimately, it's to play. I love playing live. I mean, that's what this is all about. I want to play jazz. The album's called Dancing Sideways, and it's sort of a celebration of people who follow their instincts and do things on their own terms. You know, it's not necessarily biographical. It's more people that I've been fortunate enough to know and work with that are truly unique. Well, this record is rooted in the 70s. It's different from my first. There's just more intensity. I mean, influences go back to, you know, I'm a big fan of Miles Davis and John Coltrane and Mingus. And to this day, I listen to that music a lot. But this time around, I just seemed to be natural to sort of go back to that 70s rock jazz sound. I mean, I like to groove that way. I had an absolute blast making this record. I used a core group of guys that I've worked with over the last, 10, 15 years.
Nice.
Well, on keys, I have Robbie Botosh, who's a Toronto, Canadian piano legend. Lorenzo Castelli on drums, a young, dynamic drummer. Steve Lucas on bass, sweet guy and super solid bass player. Another piano player named Chris Pruden, a young cat. You're gonna hear a lot about him. He's pretty awesome. Mark Lalama, another wonderful piano player, composer, producer. Yeah, when it came to percussion, on some tracks that I wanted more of a world sound, I went with Sarah T. And on tracks where I felt I needed an Afro-Cuban flair, I used Arturo Avalos. Comes in on bass. So you may want to, a little bit earlier. My songs, they're elaborate sketches. And I leave a lot of room for them to sort of express themselves. And I count on that. 4 times, but if you feel that it's on the 3rd time you want to come in, I'm cool with that.
That's a good idea.
When you're making a jazz record, you have to play live off the floor. You have to get a performance. So the studio is important, and the vibe of the studio. It's not just the look of it or the gear, it's the vibe. I chose Revolution, and then afterwards Canterbury. And I thought that each of those tunes would work best in those environments. And it worked out great. Now that the album's done, I plan to obviously promote it, play live a great deal, and from there, probably world dominance. What's the point of doing a whole record, right? I could just do singles. I'm just old school. Back when I was a kid, it was the record. And it was a concept record. And the order of the tunes mattered. I know it doesn't matter now, but it matters to me. I like that answer.